Good times. Good times. So we're going to have Swift Demise, Nullkuhl, and Killer versus Wild Goose Chase starring Happy Death, who's, well, I would have said that Happy Death has been carrying Alpha Froggy, but really the tables have turned, and I think Alpha Froggy has really been carrying Happy Death. Happy Death always looking to be the one scrambling against all odds, with Froggy carrying him and giving him more opportunities to exercise his rage. So, Nullkuhl and Killer going to be Osprey and Bomber going ahead neutralizing this left corner. This is kind of the typical duel intro. Each player will go through their corner. Alpha Froggy and Happy Death are actually going to be Saucer and Warthog. Not used to seeing Happy Death and a Warthog, but this is final, so it's okay to forgive people for going full tryhard. Then they'll go immediately to their second post. This is typical, but not necessary. And whoever loses this will pick a different map. So Killer actually picking off those creeps. That will slow down this game significantly for the red team. They're going to be a little bit behind. They'll have to either stop what they're doing and build infantry or wait for another round of creeps to spawn. So green already has their post and red sitting around like, yep, can't do anything. So 3 infantry do come through. Happy Death repositioning so they can get a good angle on this forward outpost as well. But green team has already neutralized theirs and is just waiting for a couple of creeps to drop in. So that sniping of those couple of creeps with the bomber is going to give them good 30-second advantage on this mid fight if that's what they want to do. Although it'd be kind of interesting if they just bypass mid and went somewhere completely different. Alpha Froggy doing his typical, let me just drop a bunch of stuff in the back corner that no one's going to notice. Oh, but Killer does spot it and is going to try to take these things out, but ooh, that death ray is pretty strong. I mean, it is a death ray. Alpha Froggy's out of energy though, and Killer's got more units socketed on the defense here, but Happy Death doing the exact same thing on the opposite side of the map. So while Nullkuhl is all concerned with this mid fight, Red is making no attempt to contest this. Red is just going to backdoor on both sides at the same time. Happy Death building zippers of all things, because he can. Why not? And is actually getting this good air-to-air damage in. Just going to go ahead and neutralize this outpost as well. Happy Death probably still cranking out zippers at his other outposts. Yep, this little arm is sticking out and just dropping them on the side. Alpha Froggy has got his signature at this point, Jammer Boxer and Extra Jumper, and is going to go ahead and try for this left outpost while everyone's distracted, but he's been scouted again by Killer. So Killer's going to try and just snipe the infantry, and that will basically lock this down. Nullkuhl is trying to do the same thing. He feels sad that he's been backdoored, but that Warthog with a pair of stingers is going to be a lot of damage stacked on top of each other, so unable to really get a good neutralize there. Happy Death going to go ahead and just nom all of these tanks up for himself, make that Warthog just a little bit fatter, a little bit more overpowered. Already level 4, and it's going to be doing a lot of damage. Killer is hoping to press this middle advantage. He says, alright, the back door didn't work, we can't defend our own back doors that well. Let's press forward with the strength we got. So Killer's just going to press into this forward outpost. There are no heavy mines to stop him. There's no defenses here to stop him. Happy Death going to work that air to ground, try and kill as many tanks as he can, but he does lose the outpost. No, at this point, Killer just has to drop some infantry, but Alpha Froggy, the signature Jammer Boxer, is just going to neutralize the next outpost and take the next outpost. Now, because he's using the Boxer, this APC, the infantry don't really come out until the base is neutralized. So he's actually going to have a pretty good time doing this. So he takes that out, and then there's no defenses at the middle. What you want to bet that's the next place he goes. Alpha Froggy just kind of minding his own business as Happy Death takes on the brunt of these assaults. Now, what Killer needs to do, what this green team needs to do, is they need to move out with these units. Because they're getting outmaneuvered. That Red is all over the map. So Nullkuhl is trying to take over this red base back at home. Killer, meanwhile, is trying to do as much damage as he can and press the advantage that they've got with their existing standing army, but they are at a significant outpost and upkeep disadvantage. Red is making more money, they can field more units, they've got money makers on top of that, so this is going to be steadily snowballing for Red. If Green is going to do something, they have to do it now-ish. And they need to get crafty. It might be a good idea to try dropping these tanks and doing some kind of fort push. There's a lot of anti-air present here, but not a lot of anti-ground, and so these small little tank pushes are actually going to be able to get a decent neutralize. Alpha Froggy, meanwhile, even though nullkuhl was able to neutralize this back, Alpha Froggy is just going to take it right on back again and continue to drop jumpers, continue to use his ultimate and spam more infantry down there as soon as he unlocks that. Happy Death, meanwhile, just working that hog, using the minigun and taking out all the tanks he can. So nullkuhl cannot sustain this. That's too much air-to-air fire from Happy Death. So the Warthog taking down the Osprey. Warthog going to go ahead and turn its gun downhill and start taking out all those tanks as well. So Happy Death just going to kill middle. nullkuhl still waiting to respawn. That's gotta hurt. Killer has got to come up with something on the fly here. They do have the middle outpost. They do have this forward outpost for Red, but he's going to get killed. His outpost just does not have enough energy. Happy Death with the ultimate ability on Warthog, making him practically invincible. And then Alpha Froggy going ahead trying to finish off that outpost, but too many jumpers. One too many jumpers was dropped for Green Team. They're able to barely hold on to this post against all that enemy assault. So Alpha Froggy going to try and backdoor again, but there is a socketed heavy anti-air turret that's going to do tons of damage to him. nullkuhl is going to be able to hold back that backdoor pretty just fine. So Alpha Froggy at this point building up another boxer. Is he going to drop it, or is he just going to go forward? So he scouts, he sees that there's an undefended outpost, and it's just going to go right for it. Yeah, why not? Then abduct. He's going to take any tanks he can get, but that anti-air fire, he's got to be careful. Really acting as a saucer, he should consider getting Blink. Blink is an ability that's great for an escape. And meanwhile, Killer with the bomber and all that anti-ground spread damage, but he's got 2v1 air to ground, just way too much focus fire from Alpha Froggy and Happy Death. Alpha Froggy quickly learning that the bloodlust is in the air and that when a player is low like that, you just got to kill him, because that's going to be a full 10 seconds or so that they cannot do anything. nullkuhl trying to get the neutralized, but Happy Death continuing to drop jumpers on top of this post. It will not get neutralized, and he's going to keep using the air to ground, keep using the air to air to kill the player and everything that he's dropped on it. So at this point, Red's got a pretty good position, but most of their forces are around the map. If we look at any outpost specifically, there's really nothing there. A couple of zippers could clear out all of these heavy mines. These money makers have virtually nothing protecting them. So it's really the mech presence and this map awareness that Happy Death and Alpha Froggy have that's giving them the strength in this game, because overall they really don't have that many units. In fact, they're at an upkeep disadvantage right now. And if you count the heavy mines, Green has significantly more units on the field. They're just not using them. They've got a big idle pile at mid. They've got a big idle pile on this front outpost. And Red is just really overextending. They're pushing with everything they have all the time, all in. And because they have a map control advantage, because they have all those money makers, this is going to work for them eventually. If Green doesn't do something with their units. I mean, Killer is even selling these lockboxes, getting more money. Just going to sell all 3 of those neutral lockboxes, keep building tanks. I mean, you've got undefended Red outposts all over the map just begging to be taken. But at the same time, Alpha Froggy as a saucer is just going to start abducting tanks. If they leave things alone, then Saucer's just going to take it. Uses that ultimate, spawns a few infantry, and goes ahead and backdoors an X-post. So now, just a firm map control advantage, and the only heavy mines on the map that there were are going to get a handful of kills. One zipper could have made all of this go away. One Joker, one Jackal, one anything, and the ones on the right too. That is just shameful. Shameful. Any kind of light unit would have gotten rid of those. But instead, they just lose a bunch of tanks. So while this would have been a massive, decisive force that destroyed everything, instead, they lose all of the units that they were committing to this push, and this is probably going to get defended pretty easily. But it is turning into a base race at this point, but Green's got all the units on the fort. Red's got nothing on the offense. They tried to push, but they got pushed back. So actually, Green can make this happen, but they're going to need more firepower. Nullkuhl is going to get taken out by that air-to-air fire again. Killer on the ground, trying to use that Osprey splash damage. There's just not enough. The last second decision by nullkuhl, he made all of his tanks move away from the fort. I don't know how great a decision that was. Trying to get a neutralize instead. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Alpha Froggy's going to try and push the base race as well. We've got all Gaddies on the back end here, so they don't do a whole lot of damage to heavy armor like this, but they will do damage. Meanwhile, Alpha Froggy has probably maxed out his abduct levels, comes in and says, nope, my Gaddy. Which will work for him, honestly. So now that Green Team has sacrificed all of their units to the heavy mines, Red is going to have an easy time. Just come in, neutralize this post, come in, neutralize middle, and then we'll go ahead and get some domination. So this may turn into a drop race, or maybe Green Team's going to be able to salvage it. But that Warthog is so good. Killer setting up a custom waypoint already. All new units he creates will be automatically moving there, but he does not see these red tanks neutralizing the middle outpost that he's deploying from, so he's going to start losing these infantry as well. Alpha Froggy just being Alpha Froggy, just hanging out, doing his own thing. Meanwhile, happydeath is killing Killer again with his air to ground of that hog, just lethal damage coming through. So much damage from that minigun. It's a level 10 Warthog. You really can't stand up to that. Nullkuhl trying to get some more fort damage in, since Red keeps taking their units off of this. They don't really have a good defense. Green may be able to poke and tickle this down all the way. Maybe, maybe not. If we look just at fort health, it's a pretty even game, but Red is still kind of following the same theme where they've been all in this whole time. Alpha Froggy takes all of those units he's been building, goes straight in for the fort. This might actually do it. You've only got anti-light units on defense, and he's a saucer, and he's abducting everything that's trying to protect. But that bomber also does a lot of damage, so looks like that whole push is going to get annihilated. So Red Team has got barely any units. Green Team's got barely any units. It's just a battle of the mechs now. But happydeath with that Warthog fire wipes out Killer with a bomber again and again and again. There's just so much damage with that minigun. And now Red Team firmly has control of all of the outposts but the left-hand corner. Alpha Froggy trying to get an abduct, but just doesn't have enough health to do it against the airfire. So now Red Team's got the initiative. It's their game to lose, but they don't really have any units. They've set up a handful at home with 2 extra lunch boxes just for redundancy, I suppose. I mean, why not? happydeath going to go ahead, build gangsters, build zippers, and just push in with whatever he's got. Just try and tick down that fort. So long as he can keep pressure on the fort, they'll be able to move around. They'll be able to build up unhindered. Green Team's got a couple of units at this other outpost defending, but I don't expect that to be all that effective. So just waiting for the end at this point. Green's pretty much going to go down. That's 3 Goliaths knocking on the front door. You can't really shake a stick at those. So this green fort is going to go down. That's going to be a swift demise for swift demise, with Wild Goose Chase taking over this game 1. Now we are going to be going into game 2. This is not over yet. We do not have a champion. happydeath may not win, but GG. Let's continue on.